everybody. Dan Illman and Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Friday, May the 26th. Race number 8 at Santa Anita. We conclude the card on the turf. 1 mile, Calbred first level allowance, $40,000 claiming option. Before we take a look at the field, it's Memorial Day weekend coming up, but it really wouldn't be Memorial Day weekend without DRF's Memorial Day sale. Get up to 50% off past performances, picks, clock reports, the digital paper, and lots more. And you can find it at shop.drf.com. Here's the field for Friday's race of the day. Remember to click or scan the QR code for Race of the Day access on your mobile device, which includes Formulator past performances. Mike, the 7 Big Claire is your 5-2 morning line favorite. Big Claire hasn't raced in almost a year.
I think that's the main issue with taking a short price on this horse, Dan. Not that, her good race doesn't make her really, really tough in here, but we haven't seen her in a very long time, and she's going to have to be ready off the layoff, I feel like, against this field, which isn't great, but I think some of these other horses match up pretty well with her.
Let's throw up the time form US pace projector. No surprise that the number 2 Ghostum is expected to show speed. That's basically her game, although stamina has not been there recently. Rosy Forecast looked pretty good off of a year-plus layoff, graduating last time out, steps up. I think this horse will be forwardly placed as well. No knocks on the first 3 horses on the pace projector.
Yeah, I don't have any argument with the pace projector either. And I did kind of feel like maybe Ghostum would be fastest early in this race. And it could be a pretty big advantage for her, Dan. She's obviously going to need her very best performance to beat this field, but making the lead and not taking a lot of pressure could go a long way.
If the pace does heat up, you'll note that the number 6, Sunshine Babe, has an LP flag over her Chicklet, which means that she's got the fastest late pace rating on Time Form US. We start things off with Medea. What an interesting career. Already multiple stakes placed on dirt, but the lone wins come on turf. But she also has a win against mixed breeds going 1,000 yards at Los Alamitos. Last time out at Santa Anita, sort of a stalk fade trip. Could get a good trip from the inside.
That's one of the things that I like about her, Dan, is it kind of feels like a good trip's coming here. It's very odd, those first 2 starts for the new barn off of that layoff. Although I guess she ran well in those races. I didn't think she ran particularly well back on turf last time, but maybe she can do better here. Based on what she was doing early last year for her prior trainer, she's a contender in here with the right trip.
The number 2 Ghostum approached the Beyer par for this level 2 starts back when not getting close to the early lead. Last time out, she was back in against Calbreds. She showed early speed. That was a pretty solid pace she was pressing, however, and she got tired at the very end. I think Ghostum, though, is at her very best when she can control the lead. And the key to this race, we'll find out going, into the first turn. Will Rosy Forecast put heat on her?
Yeah, I think that's the real question too, Dan. I mean, the one win that she does have so far came going longer in May of last year, and it was one of those races where she just didn't take any pressure on the pace in there and made that field pay. Since then, I don't think she's really improved all that much. Dan, I didn't think she ran that well last time. I get it. The pace was pretty solid. She was contesting it, but the horse that she was contesting it with won the race, and this filly just didn't really have it in the stretch.
Golden Temper is the number 3. Now, she has upside potential, but she's going to have to tap into it because her buyers are light on the way in. Her most recent start was her first race off of a short layoff. She caught off going, and she also caught a pretty hot horse. The winner came back to win a state-bred stake at Golden Gate on the turf with a 76 buyer. She seems to like firm going, but she has to move forward.
Yeah, maybe she just faced a much better horse last time off of a little bit of a layoff. But I still don't think anything she did prior to that race made me really want to bet her in here, Dan. I think she's got to take a significant step forward.
Number 4 is Dendera. This horse is the only 2-time winner of the group, has one going sprint to route in the past, and you could argue that just didn't get the right setup or trip in each of the last 2 sprint races. 2 starts back, was wired by 2 sharp horses, and basically was still running on at the end, and last time out the trip didn't work out at all.
Yeah, I don't think sprinting is what she really wants to do anyway, but they tried it in her last 2 starts. It didn't, really work out. That last one, she had enough trouble to give her the benefit of the doubt. And at the end of the day, Bravo just really wasn't asking her at the end of that race. He knew that she was too far away. So I don't care about those races, Dan. She also had an impossible trip the last time they went 2 turns with her back at the end of March. We'll see if something works out for her. She's one of those horses where I think it's easy to maybe start getting a little bit tired of her. She hasn't won a race in a long time, but overall her form is solid, and I think she fits right in here.
Click on the short comment links in your formulator past performances. The videos for those races will pop up. You'll see the trouble Dendera has endured in her last few races. Blinkers on this time for trainer Leonard Powell. The 5 she's misbehaving last time out, sort of an even performance, finishing behind Sunshine Babe. I think that she has it in her to take a step forward, but she's sort of a one-run closer that I think needs the right pace and right trip.
Yeah, I agree with that. She didn't run great last time. It wasn't a terrible performance, but she was in against a couple of these same horses, Dan, and it's not like she ever made her presence felt. First time off the maiden win. Maybe she'll maybe she'll start getting better now. I don't think that's impossible. I don't love her running style.
We'll watch Sunshine Babe's most recent start. This was on April the 28th, a similar race where she was wired. She finished ahead of 3 of these horses. She had to move early on the backstretch because she was pretty far behind in split horses. Then she came 3-4 wide into the lane. She's going to have a little bit of a look at it, but this horse on the lead's just going to have a little bit too much. All in all, I thought Sunshine Babe ran well. She has very competitive buyers on her page. The big knock is she's won for 19 lifetime.
Yeah, that is a big knock. She had an excuse 2 starts back. That was just one of those races that didn't work out for her, off a little bit of a layoff there. And she actually ran a lot better than it looks on paper. It's that race that we just watched that concerns me a little bit, Dan. I hear what you're saying. She did have to move a little early just to get into position. She had a real chance to win that race. And to me, it just didn't look like she was doing enough there in the late stages. She could have won that race. She didn't. To me, it almost looked like she wasn't trying that hard.
Big Claire, the number 7's another horse with lots of minor awards on her page. So we're dealing with a short-priced morning line favorite, a horse hasn't raced since June, a horse with 7 seconds from 15 lifetime starts. But when she's right, she runs very competitive figures right at about this level. Here's her last start at Santa Anita, way back on June the 5th, going a mile. She's last on the rail turning into the stretch, but she's going to get out. She's going to have a look. She's going to run on, and she's just going to miss again.
Yeah, this race worked. This trip really worked out for her, and she is gaining ground at the end of this race. She's just going to run out of time here, Dan. She ran. She just didn't quite get there. The layoff is a concern. The overall record is a concern. I don't think there's really any argument to be made that she isn't the horse to beat in here if she shows up with her good race, because I do think that she is. I just don't know if I would take a short price on her.
And Ben Cecil did a great job with the 8 Rosie forecast. This filly missed over a year of racing, then returned in a 2-turn race. Her first start around 2 turns in this stake-bred maiden special. She was up close to the pace throughout. She really had to grind it out late. Cecil had her ready to rock and roll, and she was bet like it.
Yeah, that's true. It kind of felt like the right field too. I mean, she runs well in here. I'll give her the credit she deserves for winning off of such a long layoff. And it's not like, I didn't think she got lucky to win this race. Then I just thought that she ran well. It's just not a particularly fast race. She's got to improve again. The horse that she wound up beating there did come back to win her next start, but that was another slow race. So I'm not sure that she beat, some kind of quality horse there.
Yeah, she beat 2 next out winners, but both of them came back with rather light buyer speed figures. Before we get to our top picks, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. It's top pick time for our Friday race of the day. Mike's going with Dendera. She has trouble. Maybe with the blinkers off, she'll focus a little bit and she'll get a clean run this time.
I get the drawbacks with her. She can be a hard horse to trust. I think this is a great spot for her, Dan, and I do think she's in better form than it appears.
I'm giving Sunshine Babe one more chance. I understand what you're saying, that maybe she hung badly last time out, but she has very competitive speed figures. I think this pace will be solid for her. She'll make a run at the end. It all depends on the price. I mean, 3-1 or 7-2 seems fair based on what she's done in her career, although her record not very good on the way in. Mike's going 4-7-6-2. I'll take Sunshine Babe in our Friday race of the day. Good luck.